Princess Bride is a 1987 release fantasy comedy directed by Rob Reiner.
Yes, it starts with a grandfather telling a story to his grandson. It was a story that his book sort of was raised on, and he read it to his son, and now he's reading it to his grandson, called The Princess Bride. The grandfather's played by Peter Falk of Columbo fame, and the grandson's Fred Savage, probably most famous for Wonder Years.
Wonder Years, yeah, and a handful of films from the 80s.
Yep. So yes, and as he starts to tell the story, then we see it played out as a film, basically. So it starts off with a farm girl played by
Robin Wright.
That's it, Robin Wright, and a farm boy who works on this farm, played by Cary Elwes. Yeah, it tells of their romance, their love for each other, and then he has to go away to find work because they don't have any money. They're just poor farmers, and she then hears that the dread pirate Roberts has attacked his ship, and he's presumed dead. And well, she's very sad, as you can imagine. And then it cuts to 5 years later, and she's due to marry this prince, but then she gets kidnapped by some, I don't know what they are, sort of
vagabonds.
Yes, played by Wallace Shawn and Mandy Patinkin and Andre the Giant. And then they are followed by this mysterious guy in black who looks a bit like Zorro. But yeah, and then the story plays out from there as they're chased. But it's to look at, it's quite your standard sort of princess fairy tale, sword fighting thing. But it's actually a bit more irreverent than that, and has lots of humour in it, and some wacky characters, basically. Yeah, that's the plot, really. It was written by William Goldman, who sadly passed away recently, which is one of the reasons we thought we'd pick it. Possibly one of his most famous works, I think. I mean, he's not. He's got quite a pretty good CV, isn't he? All the President's Men and
Marathon Man.
Yeah,
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance
Yeah.
Kid. Misery.
Yeah. So it's difficult to pick what would be the most famous out of all those.
Well, yeah. Different films for different people.
And different genres,
so
yeah.
Different genres, yeah.
So yeah, but this is unlike most of the ones we just mentioned. You could watch this one with the kids.
You could. Yes, you could. This is true.
But you hadn't seen it before, had you?
No, I hadn't seen it before. I always got this one and Willow mixed up.
Right.
And I hadn't seen it before, and I watched it. I watched it last night.
Well, you're probably not the demographic, are you? Let's be honest.
No, and I think, and we did mention this when we did Kral. I've never been the biggest. I mean, I like fantasy films, but just not these kind of fantasy films. I'm not into kind of princes and princesses and all that. I have to say, I mean, I know. So I was reading about this, and this is like a big classic film. A lot of people absolutely. It's like on the 250 IMDb films of all time, and you look at the reviews, it's like 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, all the way down the list. I found it so dull.
Unbelievable.
So boring.
Inconceivable.
Yeah, completely. I mean, I thought it's good. It's good cast.
Great cast.
Some people in there that I quite like. Billy Crystal.
Yep.
And Carol Kane. She's his wife in it.
Mm-hmm.
She's in Scrooge, isn't she? And she did a lot of comedy in the 80s and stuff.
And the prince is played by Chris Sarandon.
Yeah, from Friday Night.
That's it, yeah.
So, it's got a good cast. I don't know, I just found it... I mean, okay, so if I'd seen the film when I was 10... I don't know, actually, because I never even liked these kind of films when I was 10. I always preferred... So, okay, how can we put this without... Because I'll get killed otherwise. Because it's a firm favourite. And if you love this film, that's great. It's just not... I've always liked darker stuff.
Yeah.
So when I go for fantasy films, I always like darker stuff. I always like a kind of film that's somewhat rooted in reality as well. So a film... Well, in fact, before we go there, actually, what's with the whole Fred Savage thing? What's that all about? It's like there's no link with that and the rest of the film. Like nothing. It's just like
it's just a storytelling device, isn't it? I guess it's not necessary. I suppose.
So two films, similar films that I really like from that period. So there's Time Bandits.
Yep.
Obviously, that is a boy in the modern world, and he kind of goes back.
But that's not rooted in reality in any way, though.
Well, it is rooted in reality because you have a boy from the modern world,
right?
You know, he's getting ignored by his parents, and he goes back through time, and he goes on this big adventure. So there is that link between modern world and the past. Then another one would be Never-Ending Story that I really liked. It's much darker than this one. Again, you have a boy who's being bullied at school, and he kind of goes away to an attic and reads this book. And although he's not personally in the story, there is a kind of link between the two. Mm-hmm. Go on.
Well, I was going to say, if you're going to question the whole Fred Savage and Peter Falk parts of the movie, but then say, oh, it's fine for Never-Ending Story to basically do the same thing.
No, it doesn't do the same thing.
He's reading the story, and then you see that story played out on screen. And yes, it does something kind of merge at the end, doesn't it?
It does merge at the end.
But it's still the same thing for most of the film.
Yeah, but plus that film, I think that film, you know, it goes to darker places. It's a bit more.
I don't know. I find that quite dark.
I just found this film. I actually enjoyed Kroll more than this one. Actually,
really?
There were a few things in Kroll that were quite cool. The horses and stuff. No, it was just boring. I didn't laugh once. The Billy Crystal scene was kind of amusing, but it shocked me because it's Rob Reiner, and obviously, you know, Rob Reiner directed some great films. Stand by Me,
including this one,
Misery, Spinal Tap, When Harry Met Sally, some really great films. And then, like I said, Misery with the writer, William Goldman. Mm-hmm. Great film. This one, I was no. And again, I think, you know, it's the whole, the prince and the princess, or just to fall in love with, you know, she falls in love with this guy, and then he goes off, and she can't fall in love with anyone else, and then then this king comes along, and I'm going to marry you because I'm going to marry you.
It's quite similar to Shrek, I suppose, isn't it?
It's just... So I can't understand why it's so loved.
If it didn't have the comedy and the cast that it did, then yes, I would agree that it would just be the same old thing. But I think because of the script and because of the cast...
The acting is terrible. And
it's like you watched a different film. I don't know. I don't know what to do with you anymore.
But I don't know. I just didn't.
Oh well, this was supposed to be, you know, honouring William Goldman.
I know. I will totally honour William Goldman because he wrote All the President Men, which is a really great film. One of the great films of the '70s. Marathon Man, another great film from the '70s.
Yep.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance. I mean, these are great films. He was a great writer, and I will certainly honour the man for those films, just not for this one. Personally, yeah, and it's just that, isn't it? It's just I don't like these kind of films. That's
like I said, you're not really the demographic for you.
No, I'm not exactly.
But then, I don't know. And obviously, I've got kids. I watched it with them. You know, I tried to make them watch it a couple of years ago, and they weren't really that interested because it's not animated. And yes, it is a slower paced film than kids' films these days. But you know, I tried again the other day, and they did. They sat through it and they enjoyed it, and they laughed a few times at it. Unlike you, so you know, there's no talking animals or anything in it to amuse them. So it managed to keep their interest.
There's some weird rats. Weird life-size
How can you
rats.
not laugh at that? That's hilarious.
Because the acting was so bad. That's why.
I think it's going for, you know, the sort of swashbuckling Errol Flynn kind of.
Well, he's not Errol Flynn.
No, that's what he's going for. You know, the sort of the plummy accent and.
But Errol Flynn was exciting and you know, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of those kind of films either. But at least he was kind of, you know, I can see that they were going for that because he certainly looks similar to him and he's blonde and everything, but you know he's a good actor. He's just not here. I just found it dull, and it just I was having a hard time keeping awake. I have to say,
blimey,
just did nothing for me whatsoever. It's just
excellent.
You know, it's not. I like if I'm watching a fantasy, like I said before, I like it to be dark and edgy, maybe a bit subversive, which you seem to suggest this was at the beginning, but
I would say
I didn't really feel that myself. I don't know. I mean, is it a parody of that kind of film?
Well, I wouldn't say it's a straight up parody, no, but it's obviously.
No, I mean, you want a parody of kind of. Well, maybe you want to go somewhere like Monty Python or people like that, which
well, it's obviously that's the extreme end, isn't it? But I would say it certainly takes itself less seriously than Kroll, for example.
Oh, I'm not.
Which,
this certainly was not taking itself seriously, but it just.
Okay.
didn't make me laugh, and I sleep.
You never want to watch it again.
I will never watch it again.
Excellent.
No, sorry about that. I'm very sorry, because I know you obviously love this film.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I didn't see it until I was an adult, and
Oh, so you didn't see it when you were a kid?
No, I didn't. No.
Okay.
But no, I think. I mean, I can see how you would say it was slow. Well, I remember when I first watched it, it did feel quite slow. But I think once you get what they're going for, then I don't know. It doesn't feel like that anymore. Once you know where it's going and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't feel like that about it anymore. The first time I was like, oh, this isn't quite the classic I thought it was. But I still enjoyed it.
Even if I was to say it was mediocre, which it wasn't. It was tedious, dull, boring, vomit-inducing. I just can't see why it's the classic that it is. It was lost on me. I'm sorry.
Well, if this doesn't completely put you off watching it, then if you do want to see it, it's not a hard to find film. It's not, it's quite famous. There's plenty of editions on Blu-ray and DVD. It's shown on TV every so often. I mean, if you're in the US, then there's a nice Criterion edition. Criterion
really?
Obviously hold it in high enough regard
wow.
to release it. I think they scanned it in 4K, etc., etc. So it looks rather nice. I mean, in the UK, there's a reasonable edition. I've got a.
What do Criterion know that I don't?
What makes a good film? And there was a 25th anniversary edition a few years ago on Blu-ray, and there's a lovely steelbook version. And it's got less features than the Criterion, and obviously it doesn't have the 4K scan on it, but it's still perfectly watchable. So if you can't play Region A, then you can pick it up reasonably cheaply in the UK and in other countries as well. If
you've got kids and you want to show your kids, then I'm sure your kids might like it. I don't know. If you're my age, probably I wouldn't recommend putting it on for a night in, because you might like it. I don't know what floats your boat, but it certainly didn't float my boat.
You're just rambling now.
I am.
So
I'll stop talking.
I think you said quite enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, shall we wind it up?
Yes, shall we?
Yep.
Do you want to say anything else?
I think there's nothing left to say, really, is there?
About this. Well, no. I'd like to hear your opinion as well, and why. What am I missing?
I don't know. It's just a fun yarn with some fun characters and great lines, and it's quite quotable in parts as well, I think. And lots of other people think as well.
Yeah, it didn't inconceivable. It just got annoying after a while.
My kids just say, "Why does he keep saying that? What does it mean?"
Was it, "You killed my father, prepare to die"?
Yeah, I mean that's like the most famous line of the whole film.
Okay, great. You killed my father, prepare to die. Okay. It's no Evil Dead, is it?
No, it's definitely not Evil Dead.
Okay.
Well, actually, what I haven't mentioned is it's famous enough that Deadpool 2, which you also haven't seen and probably never will, is being re-released at Christmas and being retitled Once Upon a Deadpool, and it's being recut so kids can go and see it. So in the US it's going to be PG-13, and they've basically filmed scenes with Fred Savage. I mean, if you watch the latest trailer, you can see they've recreated his room from Princess Bride, but instead of Peter Falk, there's Deadpool sat with him, and he's basically kidnapped him for some reason. What they've probably just done is they've probably just cut the swearing out and added a couple of scenes with Fred Savage, and that's it, then put it back in cinemas. I mean, over here, it's just been rated 15 again, which is what it was originally, so it's made no difference over here. Right. Probably because they haven't cut any of the violence out, which is obviously, that's fine in America. You can show as much violence as you want, but naughty words, no, that's definitely not good. So yeah, no, that's quite amusing. If you're a fan of Pinterest Bride, if you're not, then it's probably going to make you want to see Deadpool 2 even less than you wanted to see it in the first place, which was zero.
I haven't seen the original. I have to say I watched the trailer. I quite enjoyed the trailer for the original one, but I have never seen the film. So yeah, I haven't. No.
So there you go.
Great. Well, yeah. So that we'll finish it there.
Yep.
Okay. So that was The Princess Bride, and as always, if you like the video, let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, and if you want to watch us argue about more films, then hit the subscribe button up there. Check out some of our other videos over there. You might find one that we agree on. And check us out on Twitter and Facebook. And come back next week for another one.